Hello, this is the Economic Choices, Section B, Opportunity Cost and Trade-Offs lecture. Our prioritized standard is Economic Standard 2, and objectively, we're going to distinguish between an opportunity cost and a trade-off. Now, opportunity cost, this is the value of the next best alternative that was given up because another option was chosen. So, possibly today, you decided to turn right. And based on having turned right today, that means you couldn't have also turned left. So whenever you make a decision, whatever the next best decision you could have made that you didn't make, that's actually considered your opportunity cost. So whenever someone makes a personal decision to use limited resources, and that also includes time, an opportunity cost is actually incurred. Now, something like opportunity cost is actually revealed by weighing the costs and benefits that are associated with alternatives. So, for instance, when we talk about opportunity cost has to do with the value of something, not actually its monetary value. So, if I ask you, hey, you went to the movies today, what's your opportunity cost for having gone to the movies today? What the answer would not be is, $10. So I spent $10. If I didn't go to the movies, now I'd have $10. The better way to think about opportunity cost is, okay, you had $10, you spent the $10 to go to the movies. Based on if you had not spent that $10, what would you have done had you not gone to the movies? What is the top priority that you could not do because you used your $10 to actually go to the movies? So opportunity cost, again, is not dollar amount. It is an opportunity that was cost to you by a decision that you actually made. Now, all choices and opportunity cost are actually going to be subjective and vary across individuals and societies. So just because one person's opportunity cost of going to the movies might have been going bowling, that doesn't translate to every person in the world's opportunity cost is also going bowling because they decided to go to the movies. Now, few choices are actually going to be all or nothing decisions, but most are actually going to involve trade-offs. And by trade-offs, this involves getting less of one thing in exchange for getting more of another. So for instance, maybe you decide, hey, I want to advance my career. Well, you're sacrificing something to do that. Maybe you're sacrificing more time with your family. Although some people might decide, I want to spend more time with my family, and by doing that, they've sacrificed some career advancement. Now, I should point out when we talk about trade-offs, you can actually have many things that you might sacrifice. So if you decide that you want to advance in your career, you can sacrifice more than just more time with your family. There's going to be many things that you might actually be sacrificing by making that decision. Now, people commonly make more decisions about small changes than big changes. So this might be considered more of a big change. Do I want to spend time with my family, or do I want to move on with my career? Some things are going to be more basic. So it might be more like, I'm going to play football. So based on playing football, I'm going to have less time of the day to watch Stranger Things on Netflix. So that's more commonly what it's like for most people. Now, choices people make also have both present and future consequences. So again, I should probably point out in case we didn't notice this. Now, trade-offs, whenever you make a decision, there are many things you might be sacrificing. You made a choice. Based on that choice, you sacrifice many things. When you're trying to determine what an opportunity cost is, however, first you have to determine what are your top two choices. Of all the choices you could have made, what were the top two choices? So whatever is your actual choice, whatever was the second best choice you did not do, that actually becomes your opportunity cost. So again, you take all the possibilities, essentially you have to prioritize them, whatever are the top two, whichever one you did not do, the opportunity that it cost you is your opportunity cost. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense for when you have to start using that in other things. In economics, when deciding if you should continue to do something, you should actually consider the benefits and cost of your decision. So in economics, they basically say if the marginal benefits, and marginal benefits means additional benefits, So if the marginal benefits of an action are greater than the marginal cost of an action, continue to do that action. So if you do something and things are working out for you, generally speaking, you keep doing that thing. So you do things as long as they benefit you. Now, if the marginal cost or the additional cost, so if the marginal cost of an action are greater than the marginal benefits, do not continue to do it. So if you do an activity but it doesn't benefit you, generally speaking, you will stop doing that activity when it doesn't benefit you anymore. That's what economists would say. All right. Opportunity cost between two specific goods or services produced by the same producer can be more easily determined using an economic model called the production possibilities frontier. So a production possibilities frontier actually shows the maximum combinations of goods and services that can be produced from a fixed amount of resources in a given period of time. So in this particular factory, we're showing the production possibilities of a factory that could be making Blu-ray disc or could be making digital video disc or DVDs. So they could be making up to 5,000 Blu-ray disc. They could be making up to 10,000 DVDs, or they could be making different combinations of that amount. So basically this solid line here, this represents what could be done, the possibilities of this factory, what could be done. Now, combinations that are on the curve, so for instance, point B here is something that's on the curve. This represents efficient use of the existing resources. Now, combinations that are inside or below the curve, so like this green point here would be below the curve, represent inefficient use of the existing resources. Now, I should point out, is it possible to produce 2,000 Blu-ray discs? Yes. Is it possible to produce 2,500 DVDs? Yes. But is it also possible that you could produce 2,000 Blu-ray discs and many more DVDs? Yes, it is. Is it possible you could produce 2,500 DVDs and many more Blu-ray discs? Yes, it is. Is it possible you could produce more of both of them? Yes, it is. A lot of times in businesses, factories, they are going to be producing at a point that is below the capabilities of the factory. That happens all the time. So whenever it's below this curve, inside this curve, it is possible, but it's just not practical to do that. Now, combinations that are outside or above the curve, so let's say this spot here might be where we want to produce. Combinations that are outside or above this curve are actually not possible given the existing technology. Now, could one produce roughly 4,000 Blu-ray discs? Yes, they could. Could one produce roughly 7,500 DVDs? Yes, they could. But could they produce both of those amounts at the same time? No, they could not. Because that is beyond the capabilities of this factory. Again, this line is the maximum amount. This is giving 100%. This is like a coach telling you to give 110%. You can't actually give 110% because that's beyond the capabilities of this factory. The only way you could produce at this point is if you got new technology, possibly, that has actually expanded the possibilities of this factory. But then that's not actually going beyond 100%. You're just expanding what is possible. All right, so this is a production possibilities frontier that will be used to look at the production possibilities of a factory that produces both Blu-ray disc and DVDs. So at point A, I'll make that blue. This is a combination of 2,000 Blu-ray disc and 7,500 DVDs. So again, like here's point A, follow the dotted line. It says 2,000. 2,000 of what? Oh, it's a label, Blu-ray disc. And also point A, follow the dotted line down, 7,500 of what? Oh, look, it's labeled DVDs. So that tells you how much they're producing there. Point B has a combination of, again, point B is going to be here, 4,000 Blu-ray disc and 2,500 DVDs. So again, you follow the dotted line, find the number of what? Oh, there it is. Follow the dotted line down. Oh, 2,000 of what? Oh, it's labeled. Awesome. So that's how you actually look at that. Now, the opportunity cost of producing 2,000 more Blu-ray discs is 5,000 DVDs. So you might be thinking, what? Okay, so let me explain. So we were at point A, and we decided we want to make 2,000 more Blu-ray discs. So that means we're going to point B now, so that we can make more of those Blu-ray discs. But for us to make that decision, we have actually sacrificed the ability to produce 7,500 DVDs, and now we only have the capabilities of producing 2,500 DVDs. So essentially, this area here represents the opportunity cost. This is how many DVDs we can now not make because we decided that we wanted to make more Blu-ray discs. So again, 7,500 minus 2,500. That's how I came up with that magic number, 5,000 DVDs. All right, one last thing to point out here. If production of either Blu-ray disc or DVDs is produced at its maximum, then none of the other product will be produced. So, like, let's say they determine at this factory, we want to max out our Blu-ray disc. We're only going to produce Blu-ray discs, so that means 5,000 Blu-ray discs are produced, which means we could actually make 0 DVDs if you made that decision. If they made the decision instead that, hey, we want to make 10,000 DVDs, you could do that, but the trade-off is, well, you can't make any Blu-ray disc, though. So, I mean, if you make this amount, it means you can't make any of the other. If you make this amount, you can't make any of the other. That's basically just what I wanted to point out there. All right, this concludes Economic Choices, Section B, Opportunity Cost and Trade-Offs lecture. Our prioritized standard, again, was Economic Standard 2, and objectively, now you can distinguish between an opportunity cost and a trade-off.